Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of the day here on the Talk with AVC. And you may be asking, because I've switched the segment up a few times, what are we going to be covering in this one? Well, this is actually going to be a little bit of NBA and a little bit of NHL because I want to cover a lot more sports that are going on. I will be going more into depth with things in this segment, especially once we reach the off seasons. However, right now, since they're in the thick of the playoffs and they're right near the finals, I want to mainly just give my predictions on that. So we're going to start with the NBA. The NBA is in the semifinals right now, in the conference semifinals, excuse me. So we have the Celtics and the Raptors, the Clippers and the Nuggets, the Heat and the Bucks, and the Lakers and the Rockets. Now, yes, these series are already underway, so let me just kind of take a swing at it and see how I feel with these predictions. Even though Toronto is tied at 2-2, I still have Boston winning this series. I like Boston's depth. I think if Jason Tatum just continues to be Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart has stepped up. I think Kemba is going to even perform better in some of these games. Their lack of a big scares me, but not really in this series. I do think Serge Ibaka could kill them, but I just don't think the Raptors have enough. I think this second loss is going to wake up Boston, and they're going to storm into the next round. Clippers and the Nuggets. Look, Nuggets, I'd love to see a win. I love what Jamal Murray's doing this year, but I just don't see it. I think the Clippers are the best roster in the NBA when everybody shows up. Look, you're not going to see Kawhi have a dud like that again. And with Paul George starting to play more like Paul George, I think the Clippers are easily just going to advance to the next round. After that, look, Milwaukee, I'm honestly shocked, but I can't say I'm too shocked. I expected you to choke. I just didn't think it'd be here. Miami, I like your roster construction. I like Jimmy Butler. I like Eric Spoelstra coaching circles around Budenholzer. I think Miami advances the next round. Obviously, they're up 3-1. I expected them to move on yesterday, but take an extra day. I think they will indeed move on. The Lakers and the Rockets. Oh, I'm going to do an in-depth segment on the Lakers because I do not like this team, and I don't really like the Rockets either, but I am going with the Rockets to win this series. Quite frankly, it's a depth thing with me. Look, you can argue about the Oompa Loompa squad of the Rockets as much as you want, that they don't really have a big. However, their Mike D'Antoni system allows them to ignore that. The Lakers just don't have the depth. If LeBron or AD has an off game, there's nobody else that can pick up the slack. And the Rockets, I think, are just going to be too much for them. They're going to score too much. And if the Lakers can't hit perimeter shots, they're not going to win this series. They tied it up for now based on talent. And LeBron, it looks like he's just throwing it all on his back. And then you can only do that for so long. The depth on the Lakers has got to step up at some point, or they are going to be sent home. So that would mean in the next round that I have the Heat playing the Celtics and the Rockets playing the Clippers. I believe the Clippers will beat the Rockets. The Clippers, unlike the Lakers, do have the depth to beat the Rockets, and I believe they will move on to the finals, where I believe they will actually play. It's a toss-up between what I think about the Heat and the Celtics. I would probably go with the Heat just because based off how they're playing, they're just on fire this postseason. But I could definitely see Boston knocking them off. I think Jimmy Butler's enough to neutralize Jason Tatum, which means Kemba and other guys are going to have to step up. And if Bam Adebayo has a good series, I can see the Heat marching to the finals to take on the Clippers, where the Clippers, I believe, will win the finals. They are the best roster in the NBA. They have two superstars, two two-way wings. They have the defense. They have the offense. They have the coaching. I just don't see a reason why the Clippers aren't the team to beat in this postseason. Now, we're going to move on to the NHL. We're going to talk quickly about the draft lottery because I am a Rangers fan, and the Rangers have won the draft lottery, and they have won the Alexis Lafreniere sweepstakes, and I believe that is who they should take at number one. I have seen rumors about them trading the pick. I don't think they should take someone else at the pick. I think if you're not going to take a Lafreniere, trade it. But I believe Lafreniere is the way to go. Look, you can argue about the fact that they don't really need a winger, but Lafreniere is a generational talent. You either need another generational talent or you need to just trade somebody else then. Don't trade Lafreniere. I have seen a trade offer where Jack Eichel would be coming to the Rangers. I would not be opposed to that. That is probably one of the few guys I would accept in this situation. I still would prefer Lafreniere just because of he's younger, but I would not be sad with Jack Eichel. I think he's a criminally underrated generational talent for the Buffalo Sabres. And this could help the Sabres rebuild. I think the Rangers, though, should still take Lafreniere. You can move Kreider to the other side if you have to. You can move Panarin to the other side if you have to. You can make Lafreniere work. Don't worry about that. Now, moving back into the playoffs, the Flyers just got knocked off by the Islanders, and Vegas just played Dallas last night. I still have Vegas beating Dallas. Look, yes, Dallas won last night in a very slow game, which is the way they play. I don't think they have the speed to keep up with Vegas in a long series. I think Vegas's speed and their youth is going to hurt them. Dallas is a very old team, and they have been playing a long playoffs. It's going to start affecting them at some point, and I just don't think they have the pieces to get past the Golden Knights. Now, the other matchup is the Islanders and the Lightning. I would have said this was a shoo-in for the Lightning if Steven Stamkos was playing. He will not be playing. So without their top player, the Lightning are vulnerable. I still believe they will win this series, but I could see it going to 6 or 7 games and the Islanders maybe pulling an upset if they get lucky in a couple of games. Look, the Islanders have surpassed all expectations this season. They have incredible coaching, and that has really led to them knocking off teams like the Flyers, who no one expected them to. But I still think that the Lightning just have way too many pieces, and they've choked enough. It's time for them to step up. So yes, just going to wrap up here rather quickly that this will indeed be the new segment here on the Talk with AVC. This third segment will be relegated to the NBA and NHL. Again, some technical difficulties, so I started a little late today, but thank you all very much for joining in on my first episode this year, and hopefully I will see you again next week at the same time, Mondays at 1. Can't wait. See you guys next time.